Why, that's today's date. 15 years ago. And the number on that safe is 1228. Oh. He used the date of the DL6 incident as the number for his safe, Your Honor. That's how important that date was to him. I see. It certainly is an interesting coincidence. People often do set their secret numbers to dates. In that case, let's recap for a second. The parrot's name is Polly, which was also the name of Yogi's fiancée, and now we have the 1228 number connected to the same incident. One similarity can be a coincidence, but two similarities can make you question whether we are talking about coincidences or not.
Objection!
Bah! This is not tangible proof. I set my ATM card's number to 0001 because I'm number 1. Wow. Oh, it ain't a surprise when I'm saying this, but you really think high of yourself. This has nothing to do with the date. Nothing! That's enough. I think we've reached a conclusion here. This is a mere coincidence. That's all. True, that is a possibility. However, two coincidences at the same time seems more like a pattern to me. What are you saying? Summon the caretaker of the boat shop. Immediately. Witness, tell us your name. Wait! This witness, he doesn't remember! No, it's okay. I have accomplished what I wanted to do. I'm done. Whoa! Now that is a complete 360. Well, I mean 180.
Nick, he looks totally different.
This is the real Yogi, I think. Finally. He's been acting feeble to hide his true identity. Acting for 15 years. Well, let me ask you again. Please state your name for the court. My name is Yogi. 15 years ago, I served as a bailiff in this very court. Order! Order! Yogi, so was it you who killed Robert Hammond? And tried to frame Miles Edgeworth for his death? Yes, it was me. I did it. They put me on the witness stand 15 years ago. Robert Hammond. He said I was mentally unsound. He told me he would make me innocent, get me off the hook. So, I pretended to have brain damage. I was innocent, really, but he didn't believe me. We won the trial, but I lost everything. I lost my job, my fiancée, my social standing. So, the reason why you had your revenge on Robert Hammond specifically was because he made you look permanently unstable. And because of that, everyone believed that. Your family, your fiancé. And because of this, you weren't even able to continue your job as a bailiff. Then, this year, 15 years later, a package arrived. It was a letter and a pistol. The plan was written out in careful detail. It was a plan for me to take my revenge on the people who ruined my life. I didn't care who had sent it. I thought this was my chance. After 15 years, this was it. Finally, a chance to have my revenge on Robert Hammond and Miles Edgeworth. I have no regrets. Wait a moment. Revenge against Miles Edgeworth? What do you mean? I'm not at liberty to speak on that matter. Why don't you ask Mr. Edgeworth yourself? Anyway, I admit it. I was the one who killed Robert Hammond. Von Karma, where is Mr. Yogi? Under arrest, Your Honor. I saw no room for error in his confession. Then, the defendant, Miles Edgeworth, is innocent. In this case, at least. Very well. Will the defendant please take the stand? There are a few mysteries left unsolved. Still, you are cleared of suspicion for this particular case. So I would like to pass judgment on the murder of Mr. Robert Hammond. Any objections? I don't believe it. Why isn't Von Karma saying anything? Very well. This court finds the defendant, Mr. Miles Edgeworth.
Sweet! Congratulations, Edgeworth! I managed to save you!
That is all. The court is adjourned.
Objection!
Did someone just say objection? No. Oh, no. Edgeworth. Please, don't do this. It wasn't Von Karma. Wait, but that means... No. Edgeworth! Your Honor, I object to your judgment. What do you mean? I'm not innocent at all. As we have heard, Yogi killed Robert Hammond in revenge. But revenge for what?
Nick! Edgeworth is trying to confess. He's going to say he's guilty. He's going to tell them he was the murderer in the DL6 incident. He's going to tell them he killed his own dad.
Uh-oh. What do I do? Well, the only thing we can do is raise an objection. The judgment has already been passed. I object to Edgeworth's outburst. Didn't someone like this happen yesterday too? I believe a certain witness raised an objection after a guilty verdict was passed. That would be Larry. We must hear this new statement. We must hear Miles Edgeworth. He's right. We have a duty to hear Mr. Edgeworth out. Okay. In that case, once we hear Edgeworth out, we're gonna have to act fast, Nick. We have to cross-examine him immediately to give us time to think. For 15 years, I have had a recurring dream. A nightmare. It's only a nightmare. And that's what I told myself. But now I know, it wasn't a dream. Yogi wasn't the killer. You mean, in the incident where your father died? From the distance of the shot, it wasn't suicide either. Everything was as clear as day. The murderer, the criminal in the DL6 incident, it was me. Your Honor, I confess my guilt. I am guilty for DL6, the statute of limitations of which ends today. The culprit is me. Order! Order! This is certainly unexpected. The defendant, declared innocent, is confessing to a different crime. A crime for which the statute of limitations runs out today. Only in Japan-California would this ever happen. I'm not really sure how I should deal with this. Pah! It's obvious. We hold a trial, right here, right now. We tried this man for his crime of 15 years ago. So right now Von Karma is enacting his backup plan. Given that we managed to save Edgeworth from this case, now we're gonna have to save him again from the case 15 years ago. You sneaky, sneaky man. I think I would like to have a 5-minute recess. During this time, I will consider the appropriate course of action to take. Court is adjourned. I'm sorry, Wright. I've just wasted all of your effort. Mr. Edgeworth, I just don't believe it, pal. I mean, you kill your dad. I didn't want to believe it myself, detective. But it's the truth. I deserve to be punished. Murder is murder, no matter what the circumstances. This is crazy! Just crazy!
Nick, what are you doing?
Huh? Oh, well, I was just reading through the court record once more. I'm getting my case ready.
Your case? For what?
The DL6 case, of course. We're preparing ourselves to prove that Edgeworth is innocent. Again. And the core problem that we're gonna have to solve is the elevator scene and what happened in it to prove that Edgeworth is innocent. Huh? Isn't it obvious? I'm going to prove that Miles Edgeworth is innocent. What are you talking about, pal? He just admitted to it. He confessed that he did it. In court. I'm sorry, Edgeworth. But I don't believe you're knight now. And I don't believe it either. I won't believe it till I'm 100% convinced of what happened there inside the elevator. I mean, this photo right over here, it is telling me that there is more to what happened than what you have told us, Edgeworth, so I'm not leaving this case unsatisfied. What? It's just a dream. It's not real. The truth is right here in this court record. In any case, tighten your belts. The real fight is just beginning. I'll prove you're innocent. Trust me. Right. Then, I would like to resume our trial. Judge, Miles Edgeworth has admitted to his own guilt. He has confessed his crime. Let us begin by hearing his testimony. Then, though pointless, let the defendants do their cross-examining. The statute of limitations of the DL6 incident runs out today. Though it's unconventional for me, I'd like to run this one by the book. I see. Does the defense have any objections? No, Your Honor. Not at all, Your Honor. I swear on my father's grave and my belief in magic. Von Karma, you knew this was going to happen from the very beginning, didn't you? Very well. Will Miles Edgeworth take the stand? Will the witness state his name and profession? Miles Edgeworth. I am a prosecuting attorney. Mr. Edgeworth, 15 years ago, you mistakenly killed your father, Gregory Edgeworth. Is this correct? It is correct. Then testify about this matter to the court. When Edgeworth was telling me about his dream yesterday, I noticed something. One detail didn't quite fit. That will be the key. But only if I can get it to work. God damn it, Von Karma. You won't get away with it. I wouldn't make a move if I were you. Huh? You do realize who you're dealing with here, right? If you try and stop me, then I won't be hesitant in telling the police and everyone else what happened here. And I doubt that things will end well for your defense team, if this event was told from my perspective. You understand, don't you? Of course, no matter what, they will always take my word over everyone else. You're only but a measly detective following these amateurs. No knowledge of law, worthless in the eyes of many, barely able to solve any case at all if you were by yourself. In that case, this shall be settled tomorrow, in the courtroom. That is the only way we're going to be able to finish this. Indeed. Unless you prefer if we settled it now in a battle of magic. In which case, maybe it would be better if you give up on the detective role and start entertaining little kids with magic tricks. At least there you show a lot of promise. Sick burn. You should go to the hospital and get that wound treated. Classy. But he was right in that I wouldn't have been able to do anything there but let him go. Otherwise, we would have ended in a detention and not be able to continue our trial. Which is not something that we want right now. Oh, I wouldn't say that he was only right in that area. I can sense it. His insults have hit you a little there. Even if you are able to conquer some of your demons with the last killing game we survived, you are still questioning your worth to this day. You are not heartless. When you want to believe in someone, you will believe in them till the very end. But what you lack in now is belief in yourself. Oh, if only I were as good as Kyoko. She would solve every single case before the trials even started, all by herself. That is what you kept thinking of in the past. And true enough, there were times when you managed to solve a case all by yourself before the case started. Like Korekyo Shinguchi's trial. But outside of that, you have always failed in many areas, and needed to follow your friends to solve things till the end. While the idea of solving a case together with your friends is lovely, don't expect to always end up victorious if you need to solve something all by yourself. And we will make it work. Together, Nick. For Edgeworth. I will help you. And not just by uncovering the truth, but by using magic too! Why should we be serious all the damn time when facing danger, when we should be confident and smile when we kick Manfred's old crusty mummified butt? What's that?
Please. Please.
That day, I had gone to the courtroom to observe one of my father's trials. As we went to leave, an earthquake struck, trapping us in the elevator. My father and Mr. Yogi lost their composure and began to argue. Just then, something heavy fell at my feet. I picked it up and threw it at Mr. Yogi. I wanted them to stop fighting. A moment later, there was a single gunshot, then a scream. It was a terrible scream. I remember it to this day. That's all. And until now, you thought this memory was a dream? We were stuck in that elevator for 5 hours. The oxygen in the elevator ran out, and I lost my memory of the events. Bah! It's the same claim Mr. Yogi has made. Very well. Mr. Wright, your cross-examination, please. Yes, Your Honor. Oh? What's this? I'm starting to sense a little bit of déjà vu here in a way. Did I just hear gunshot? I mean, what I know about nightmares is that they're all in your head. Just like the voice behind your back telling you horrible stuff. Alright. I think I know what I'm gonna do here. Let's see about going to Edgeworth's statement with the single gunshot. See where it is exactly. There was a single gunshot, then a scream. Well, you did tell us that. Well, you did tell us before about the gunshot. But I'm starting to have my doubts about that one, Mr. Edgeworth. I'm starting to have my doubts, indeed. So, there was only one gunshot? Yes, I am sure of that. I heard the shot and the scream. Then everything faded. I was unconscious until the rescuers came. I see. It must have been scary. Look at this photograph. This is a photograph of the scene of the crime, 15 years ago. There is a clear contradiction between your testimony and this picture. I can see that the victim lying there is Gregory Edgeworth. I mean, clearly Gregory Edgeworth was killed with one gunshot through the heart. But there is something odd about the description of the murder weapon that needs to be addressed as well. What do you mean, contradiction? As always, the judge is clueless. Show the judge the contradiction in the photo. Oh, the contradiction is clearly this. It should be obvious. The contradiction is here. I see. A bullet hole in the door. Your Honor, Miles Edgeworth testifies that there was only one gunshot. However, according to this photograph, not one, but two shots were fired. One shot hit the victim, the other hit the elevator door. I ask you then, why did Miles Edgeworth only hear one gunshot? This photograph does seem to confirm a second shot. However, when was the hole in the elevator made? It might have been there before the incident occurred. If it was there before, it has nothing to do with this incident. Mr. Wright, do you have proofs that this bullet hole was caused at the time of the incident? Yeah, of course. Your Honor, I think I will be able to show you proof. What? Impossible! No, Mr. Von Karma. Save your surprise for after you've seen the evidence. Very well, Mr. Wright. Show us your proof. What do you have that proves the bullet hole on the door was related to this incident? Well, it is totally this. In the case files, it says like right over here. The murder weapon was fired twice. This proved that there was another bullet. So, yep. Your Honor, the answer is in this file. You do enjoy dragging out that file, don't you? Well, of course, Manfred. We are using that file in similar fashion to how a mage is using his staff to do their magic spells. And with that, let's begin our magic performance with our first spell. Here I have a robot toy. Watch as I will transform this robot into whoosh, a car. Kazing! Attorney, magic and disguise. I don't accept this evidence, unless you can tell us what page it's on. Which page shows a link between this bullet hole and the Z06 incident? Well, it's under victim data page, unless I'm wrong about this. Let me just check again. Victim data, yep, it's under the victim data page. Right over here. Look at the victim data in this file. It says it quite plainly. The murder weapon was fired twice. Exactly. And as we all know, the witness is supposed to tell us everything that happened in the murder. Now, given the fact that Edgeworth told us about only one of the shots, tells us that either he's not telling us the full truth, or he doesn't remember things as well as he claims to. Miles Edgeworth only heard one gunshot. Yet, the murder weapon was fired twice! Order! Order! Mr. Wright, what are you driving at? It's simple, Your Honor. At the time of the incident, 2 shots were fired. One went into Gregory Edgeworth's heart. The other hit the elevator door. Remember that the defendant lost consciousness. They remembered that the defendant lost consciousness after the shot he fired rang out. In conclusion, we must agree that the second shot was fired by someone else. Mr. Wright, but who could that someone else be? The murderer, of course. I knew I should have stepped in before your wild fantasies go out of hand. Mr. Wright, look once more at the DL6 incident case file. Look closely. Try the case summary page. Sheesh. The way you're saying that, it makes me feel like I'm being lectured by my teacher to try and find the information that I need in order to answer that question. Elevator, district court, air in elevator was oxygen depleted at the time of the incident. No clues found on the scene. Okay. I have read it. What about it? The case summary. And that's on page 1. Look what is written there. I just did. Oh wait, hold on a second. I forgot this particular part over here. Manfred ist ein Sack alter Hundescheiße. For the general audience, it means that he's a bag of old dog shit. Not a single clue was found on the scene. If the pistol had indeed been fired 2 times, then the other bullet would have been discovered on the scene. True. He does have a point. That second bullet has never been found. Why? Because the second bullet does not exist. The bullet that claimed Gregory Edgeworth's life was the one fired by his own son. That is the truth of this matter. The whole truth. It was undoubtedly something else that made that bullet hole in the door. Order. I will have order. Mr. Wright has proved one thing to us quite clearly. That the murder weapon was fired twice at the time of the incident. However, as Mr. Von Karma says, the second bullet fired was not found. It is highly unlikely that the police merely overlooked this second bullet. So, all we have is the single bullet fired. I'm afraid I have to discount the defense's claim. Oh my god. Are you not... Your Honor, are you sure about this? I mean, if it wasn't a bullet that was shot through the glass, then pray do tell what it was then. I mean, Manfred, can you tell... Oh wait, hold on. Sorry, I guess the defense has to prove it. Even though, in my eyes, Manfred should be the one to back up their theory by telling us what it was that went through the glass in that case. Not Not Phoenix. Oh, shut up. I praise the judge for his wisdom in this matter. Only because it is in your favor. Yeah. How did this happen? I don't believe that the second bullet didn't exist. Was I wrong? Have I been wrong about this whole incident?
What are you doing, Nick? Why aren't you raising an objection?
I'm sorry, Maya.
What?
It looks like I was wrong. Oh, come on, Nick. Again, you're losing your mojo. You're losing your cojones.
Nick?
If the second bullet wasn't there, then all my conjectures are for nothing.
No. You said you'd do it, Nick. You said you'd get Edgeworth declared innocent.
I'm sorry. It's just, when I saw the photograph, I thought that 2 shots had been fired. I was so certain of it. I thought I'd won. I thought there was another person. Someone else who fired the killing shot. But now, I was wrong to think it could be that simple. In this case that stood unsolved for 15 years.
Nick.
Well, it seems that we have finally cleared up this incident. Only 1 bullet was found at the scene of the crime. That shot was fired by Miles Edgeworth. Precisely. I would like to ask one thing on Miles Edgeworth before passing my verdict. Have you been paying attention to the trial so far? Yes, Your Honor. Do you have any objections? No. No, I do not. So you killed your father, though that was not your intention? Yes, I did. I mean, the only thing I can think of is that the first shot that Edgeworth accidentally pulled was the one that went through the glass, not the one that killed Gregory. But when it comes to proving that...
Oh no. He's confessing.
Very well. The statute of limitations on the murder of Gregory Edgeworth runs out today. Therefore, I must pronounce a verdict on the defendant today, right here. Right now! Indeed. Does anyone have any objections? I've been here before. It's just like my first day in court. There are so many things I know I should be saying. When my mind's gone blank, I cannot find the words. Mr. Wright? The only thing we can do, as always, Nick, we have to raise an objection. We have to say something. Your Honor. I object. No, you cannot do that, Mr. Wright. On what grounds do you object? Oof.
Nick?
I don't know. This case is perfect.
Oh no. It must exist. The second bullet.
What? What did you just say?
Nothing.
The second bullet must exist. But where?
Someone took it.
Someone took it? It seems waiting is not going to produce us any answers from Mr. Wright. Wait, Your Honor! The second bullet, it exists! What? But we just heard proof that it did not exist. Or maybe it does exist. It's just that someone must have taken it? I realize that, Your Honor. Grasping here. It's just someone took it from the scene of the crime. That's what happened. But who? The murderer! The murderer! The murderer? Then tell us, just who is this murderer? I'm still thinking about that one. So the criminal took the second bullet. Why would he? Because that way we wouldn't be... Because that way he wouldn't be tied to the crime, right? And... Wait a second. Oh my god, that's it! Now I remember something! When I said that maybe the first shot that Edgeworth fired was the one that went through the glass, and then he heard a scream, that means it could be... Okay, I think we got something. I think we may be on the good track here. Even though that still raises contradictions, but at least it's something! Huh? First of all, how would he have found it? It's not easy to find a stray bullet, Mr. Wright. Was there some pressing need for the murderer to search for that bullet? Well, yeah, the murderer had to find it. Of course there was a need, and that's why he took it. Pah! What possible reason could he have had? Well... The reason the murderer took the bullet away from the scene with him is... Well, because the bullet would be proof, or the murderer was cautious. Oh my god, both those options are good. The murderer was trying to be cautious so that he wouldn't be found, but at the same time the bullet would also be proof. In order to find the true criminal,